Goodness.
I just do. I don't.
And they don't realize it.
Yeah, I want them to be, I don't want them to make the same mistakes. I don't mind you making mistakes.
Right.
I just don't want you to make the same ones I
No.
made. I should have been the blueprint.
Oh my goodness. At all. I just don't want you to do that. I don't. So, yeah. That's
So, okay, guys, we have a great conversation. We're going to talk about us back in the day on a future episode. So you guys got to stay tuned because we're going to tell some grit, some dirt.
Be good.
I'm going to tap out.
You going to tap out?
I'm tapping out on that.
I can't wait to bring out the dirt, We're going to make sure, but again, guys, thank you so much for following us here at Let's Talk with Angelina Colt and our special guest and co-host, DJ.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
And guys, you can find us at letstalkan.com on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for sharing with us today.
Stay tuned.
Cut. Ain't no doubt.
Ladies, we just got finished with Coach Jackson. I think that was a perfect segment. Let me ask y'all this. Were y'all clear on everything he was saying about sports and all of the activities related to sports?
Yes, and how people want their child to become professional players.
Most definitely.
They push them out there when they're not ready. So it was a great conversation.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Great points
Very,
and
very
topics.
Good. Very informative.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
All right. Is dating your son's coach a yes or a no? What are your thoughts?
I always say it's a no because it centers, that relationship is centered around a kid who has dreams, and he sees, his mom dating the coach. It automatically gives him some kind of favor. He thinks, and I think even when those relationships end, if you get where I'm coming from, there's a possibility that they end badly.
Yes, repercussions to the child.
And who's gonna reap the repercussions?
Right, the child.
Where does the fallout come from?
Yeah.
Right.
You get where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So I'm always kind of anti that.
Yeah.
I know that it happens, and maybe there's been some good that comes out of it. I don't know.
Right.
But
I don't either.
I just can't see it. I haven't
Can't see
seen
it coming
that yet. I haven't seen that yet.
Because if say we're dating the coach, say DJ's the coach and we're dating him.
Right.
And our kid, everything's going good, so our kid's getting all this playing time that really didn't have the potential.
Yes.
Now we've set our child up for failure too because
right.
the dude is like, you know what, I'm going to give him extra playing time. Go on, help Johnny out.
Absolutely.
Well, now
It's
Johnny really
favoritism.
can't hit the ball. He can't
Right.
catch the ball. He
Right.
can't run the ball.
Right.
But he's thinking he's all that, so he's
Yeah.
talking
That's right.
noise too.
Yeah.
So when this relationship turns bad, Johnny at school getting dogged out, and now he's like just set on the bench where he
Absolutely.
truly
Absolutely.
belonged until he was able to mature in his skill level.
I just threw
so
that
that's
out
pretty
there.
bad.
Yeah, because I think it's a no-go.
Yeah.
I just think it's bad all the way around. I just wanted a male's perspective on it.
I mean, I think sometimes
It's a possibility that it'll be okay.
possible,
like
yeah.
I
It's
can
possible.
see it, but I would make sure that he and I were able to separate the two.
Right.
It's almost like dating and working with your mate. When we're at work, this is work. When we're at home, this is our relationship.
Right, right.
But you have to be able to balance the difference and know who's in order and who's in charge and what's supposed to take place.
So you think that requires? I think that requires a real conversation.
Very
It's
real.
a real conversation because you, as a parent, you already see your child as this.
Yes.
And maybe the
Absolutely.
coach doesn't see him like that.
Right.
And maybe he's being swayed or maybe he's being biased. There is some bias. There's automatic bias.
Yes, there are.
He sees this kid more frequently.
Yeah.
You know what I
Than
mean?
other times,
that's
yeah,
right.
and
He has
other
more
kids.
interaction with that particular kid.
And that's favoritism.
Yes,
It's
I
going to
mean-
come
Well,
with
it
that.
just comes with, it's not favoritism, it just comes with territory.
That's right.
Because he's dating her mother, so
Yeah.
he's gonna see him and they're gonna have a different relationship
Yeah.
off the field.
Right.
It's just that the coach and the child and the mother has to understand that when we here on this court or field,
This is business.
this is different.
Yeah.
So what we do at home and how he treats you at home is fine. He's not gonna be softer to
Right.
you because you're around him more.
Exactly right.
He's probably gonna yell at you even more because now he expects more out of you too, because he's putting a lot of time in there. But what about coaches that get stuff? And he took away from me. So could you put it back around? Oh, well, I didn't know.
Okay,
I
okay.
told him and he saw.
Okay.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to angle it.
Oh, you want me to go back to the end?
Your last bit of what you said.
What did I say there?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So actually, the coach and them and the child are playing outside at home, outside of the field.
Right.
They understand now that it's more different. I'm going to yell at you a little harder because I put more time into you one-on-one.
Absolutely.
And I expect more out of you because we've had personal conversations. So right now we need to be able to say, okay, when we go out field, son, toughen up. Son, do this, do
Right.
that. Use what I'm
Right.
teaching you because you've got extra 2 or 3 hours on them.
Right.
So that's definitely something to think about.
Wow.
So let me ask you this: what does the coach do? I mean, because as you know, we all know that they out there, they throwing it at him on every front. How does he handle that?
You mean the women are throwing themselves out there at him?
What do you think?
I think the women throwing
Yeah.
themselves out there. One, they
Well,
looking
of
at
course
his,
they are.
and don't let him be like a high school coach. Someone
Oh,
who's
my
getting
goodness.
recognition with like
My
DeSoto
goodness.
High School, a good team. I don't know none of the coaches. Disclaimer, but any high school coach. Let me take
Yes,
that back.
yeah.
Don't let him be a high school coach or a college coach. Or even NFL or anything, because
Yeah.
now they gonna definitely throw themselves because they want that limelight,
Right.
the glitz and the glamour. That's pretty tough. Can men handle that? Do you
Let me
think?
ask you this though: Do y'all think it's about? No, man. To answer your question, no, we can't.
You can't handle all that coming at you at one time.
That's no.
No.
So let me ask y'all this: Do you all think it's a question about the kid, or it's a question of the parent being selfish? Are there some selfish benefits here in this relationship with the coach? Because it can't think about this. Is it all about the kid, or is there some selfish aspects going on here too?
I don't know. Is it all about the kid as far as the relationship with that woman and the coach? That's hard for me because I've never
Right.
dealt with anything like that. But I would assume that maybe they have a motive.
Right. That's
So
a
the
motive
woman,
there.
the woman has
And I
motive.
think that's my question.
Yeah.
What's the motive?
Their child. Hey, I may try to get close to you so my child could get some plays, could get a lot of time in the game.
Okay.
If we're talking about high school, they can get looked at. You can help them get looked at by recruiters.
colleges,
For colleges. So I think it would be for that, unless that woman truly is interested, in that
Right.
guy.
Right. That's
I
it.
can see
Right.
that too.
Legitimate interest there.
The legitimate
If
interest.
he's
could be
fine,
there.
I'm gonna be like, hey, look, Tommy, sit down because you can't play, but that brother's fine. We just got to be real with it because my child may be out there and I'm just helping him have something to do because I
Right.
really know my
Right.
child can or cannot play.
Right.
But that coach is fine, brother.
So you gonna
The
holler at the
brother is-
I'm probably gonna show up at the game on the dress a little better, than normal. I'm
gonna
not
be on
coming
the
on a rough
field.
day just throwing my
You gonna
child
be on
out
the
there.
field and-
You mean
You're-
tell me you're gonna be team mom?
Ooh, you know it. Does she get any points? Definitely. So
That's good.
I just need to know.
And with dating a coach, does that kind of set an example for girls that want to date jocks, especially in high school? Those football players are known to be jocks, and
We are.
women and the young girls, they gravitate
Right.
towards them. I mean, it's just what it is. I mean, does that set that example, or?
I can't say exact example because I think back to high school and everybody wanted to date that football player.
Always.
Because that football player at every game, especially if he was a good player, getting
Yeah.
that attention.
Right.
Can
The
wait to the end of the year to
Right.
get the Letterman's
Yes.
jacket to walk around
Yes.
campus with it on,
Right.
So I think so, but I don't think the parent really says that because as growing up, your mindset's already wrapped
It's
into
already there.
I got to be with that player, and
It's
so
there.
you're thinking later in life probably if you're like that. But I never really been much of a groupie, so
Right.
to me it wouldn't be a big deal.
Right, and it carries over.
How
to
many
college,
women?
too.
You were all about ball. I remember you telling your story going to
So you
college
were
and
playing-
he was the man in college now.
I think the problem with that is that some of those atmospheres, like you said, Nicole, some of those atmospheres are already set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In your mind, cheerleaders know they're gonna date
Yes.
athletes.
Yes.
I mean, that's just what they talk.
That's
Yeah.
what they're looking for.
Yeah, that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not to say that dating a coach sets a premise
Right.
for that behavior.
Right.
Because I don't necessarily believe that. But
Right.
I think the behavior it's always been part of that athletic
Part of that.
kind
Yes.
of culture.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially when you get to junior high school,
Yes.
those people just automatically connect.
They connect.
Why?
And then,
I
one,
don't
they
know.
travel together all the time.
They travel, but
so
I'm
then they
seeing-
seeing them a lot.
Yeah, and I'm seeing now where more of the jocks, the basketball players, football players, they're now dating the basketball girls, the
Right.
volleyball girls.
Right.
More, back in my day it was cheerleaders. Now they want another athletic.
They want somebody else's
girl as
athleticism.
well.
Because she's making some sacrifice too.
Yeah.
If you get where
Yeah.
I'm coming
And
from.
they have
Definitely.
that common.
They have that
commonality.
Yes,
bond.
Yes.
So she has to go to practice. So she has a tournament.
Right.
Right.
So
Yeah, definitely.
It's easy for them to communicate. It's
Right.
easy for them to relate
Right.
to one another.
Yes. So I think it's good.
So if you're fine, and you
All right
know
now.
how these high school, I mean, they just shape different now. I
Right.
mean, they really
Look like
are.
grown
much
adults.
more mature.
Yes.
So how do you think these ladies or these young girls should dress for football games? Do they need to be, hey, a little sexy and showing their bodies, or do they need to kind of tone it down a little bit? What do you think is appropriate?
Are we talking about the cheerleaders or people just coming to the
People,
game?
the students, yeah, coming out to support.
I mean, kids don't have clothes on these days, and it's really what we tell them. They're not gonna listen anyway.
No, 'cause they gonna put it in their bag
yeah,
and
but
change.
exactly as soon as they leave the house, and then before they come back home and change. But really TV, magazines, everything we see today is already put out there. In the audience, we can tell you we all have kids. And so the audience can also vouch for you that our kids wear little of nothing. And as parents, some of us, like I'm old school, I'm still fussing, but I also have to pull back some because now my child has peer pressure. So she's sneaking and doing it anyway. And I'd rather be able to say, okay, if you're gonna wear this, at least cover up something.
Right.
Change a little bit. But sometimes parents just don't care what their kids do.
So you have boys. You have any girls?
I do.
Okay. How old are your girls?
14 and 17.
Okay, so have you had to experience them wanting to dress a little, in the trend? That's what
Risque.
I call it. Yes.
Risque.
Okay.
So, I'm daddy.
Yeah.
So, and daddy just don't play that.
Yes.
I just, I don't want to have a conversation about that.
Yeah.
You know what? My level of expectation has already been explained.
Yes.
I expect for you to carry yourself like a lady.
Like a lady.
At all times.
Right.
At all times. I don't expect to have to be monitoring those kinds of things.
Right.
Even with my boys. Say, man, I'm not gonna tell you to pull your pants up.
You're right. Okay.
We're just not gonna have that conversation.
Okay.
Because you've never seen me do that.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and it's not that you have to pattern yourself after me or look like me or any of that. I do want you to be tasteful.
Right.
In everything you do.
Everything you do.
Especially for my girls.
Especially for your girls. So what if mama fine? And mama just demands attention when she's going to the games or going out? Should she tone down how she dresses, or does she need to be herself?
And again, this is all about being tasteful. It doesn't have anything to do with what she has on.
Right.
It really doesn't.
Right.
It has everything to do with her being classy
Absolutely.
and tasteful.
Absolutely.
And the image she's presenting to the child.
Right.
That's exactly
Because
right.
a lot of times how we dress as women, also our children looking at us like, well, you do it.
That's right.
Because
Yeah,
too
or
many,
you did.
but the problem is not even that. Too many parents are too busy trying to look like the teenagers
Oh, my
versus
goodness.
being a parent. So therefore, they're showing less
Good.
clothes and everything. So it's sports a distraction. When playing sports is not a good thing. When is playing sports not a good thing?
Oh, easy. That's those are easy questions. So for me, Angela, if you're not handling your responsibilities as it pertains to your education, you aren't afforded sports.
Right.
See, sports ain't free. You don't just get to walk up and just start doing this.
Yeah.
stuff.
Right.
You
Yeah.
got to
You
have
gotta do-
uniforms
Yes.
and shoes and this.
Yes.
That. Now, if I'm going to delve and invest in you that way,
Right.
I expect my return on my
Right.
investment.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And what is my
Absolutely.
return? I expect for you to be handling your business.
Good grades.
at school.
Absolutely.
Oh, my dad's shoe was like, you ain't playing no sports. If your grades are not
don't
at
care
the
about
par to
that.
where you're supposed to be, he's
Right.
pulling you. Coaches would do it too.
Don't care about that.
But my parents did it before my coaches could even do
They
it.
would pull you.
Yeah, because you got to keep it in line.
And you have to, because you know what? It's no pass, no play anyway.
Right.
I mean, they don't think, they like, oh, I could play, I'm good.
Sometimes
This is
they
not
get you
real
some help.
life.
That's right.
Okay.
Real life is, I don't care
That's
what
right.
college you go to, if you're not passing, you are not playing.
Yes,
Period.
that's the
Period.
key. But oftentimes, let's talk about when we go to the games and we're all into it, and then parents and kids are fussing and fighting over who child got the most playing time.
too
How do you
much.
handle that? You think that's too much?
I just think I've had my share of that of that glam. I've had my share of that. So even when my son played football, I would stand out. I was kind of standoffish a little bit.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that he enjoyed it more than I enjoyed
Right.
it. You know what I mean? Because I already had.
You didn't want to
that-
take his time.
Yeah, I
Right,
did that.
right.
I
In the
did that.
spotlight.
Right.
And I think sometimes parents forget that they've had their time.
Yes,
You
definitely.
can't live through your child.
They're trying to live
They
vicariously
do.
through them. Yeah.
They just don't get it.
They
Definitely.
Some of them
do.
just don't get the fact that it's not their time. Most of the time, the kid is doing it simply because they enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Not because they think they're great at
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
They don't even know they're great
Yeah,
at it.
Right.
yeah, they
They
don't.
just enjoying
They're
it.
having fun with
Yeah,
it.
they haven't even figured that part out
Right,
yet.
right.
And you fighting over minutes.
Right.
Yes.
And you mentioned fighting. Let's talk about when, like Duncanville, and I think it was Duncanville and DeSoto, the
Right.
basketball team. Everybody was doing
Right.
good, going to state playoffs. What about when the game was over and they got into a fight? How do you keep your child from getting involved into those situations in advance? Because it could have cost them they're actually playing their game.
I just think those are responsibilities for parents
At home.
as well as coaches. But that behavior trait has to start at home.
Right.
See, because you see that ambition, you see that aggressiveness, you see that at home. That just don't happen.
Right.
Yeah, that's not just happening at school.
Right, right,
Yeah, that
right.
aggressiveness is happening at home too.
Right, right.
How do you curb that?
Right. And so when your kid is, the all-star player out there getting all the jackets and letters, and then you really pushing them to practice, work out, how do you handle the risk of them getting injured? Especially since you played, how did your father handle the risk of you being injured?
Injury was just a part of the game. It is. You want to afford them the best medical attention that they can get. You want the best medical advice. You want the proper equipment. You want all that kind of stuff.
Because it's just it's just there.
Yeah, it's just there. But I
Yeah,
think injury
yeah.
is a part of the game.
It is.
A part of any game.
Any sports.
Do you keep
Anything.
them out there knowing that they've been injured once and now they're going to keep going? They hadn't got the proper treatment, and then they stand the risk of getting a concussion.
What do you?
I think again that's a place. That's one of the places of a true parent. You know
When
you
they have
know.
enough.
Yeah, my daughter just had ACL surgery. I just pulled her off the basketball team.
Yeah.
I dared them to go back.
Yes.
I literally said, if you go back, I'm going back.
Yes.
We know how that's going to turn out.
But some parents keep pushing their kid out there because they're
No.
looking for that meal ticket
I wouldn't do that.
No.
at any cost.
You need to heal.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
need to heal. I don't want to add injury to your injury.
You're
I
right.
think that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we compound those things.
Yeah.
Because we haven't let them heal properly, not just physically, but mentally,
Mentally.
and
Mentally
emotionally
as well.
Yeah, because when you're injured, you're taken away from something
Absolutely.
that you absolutely love.
And how many of these pro, basketball, football players have you seen that have been injured and they can no longer play?
They
Yes,
can lose.
exactly.
It
Yeah.
happens. It's
Losing
just
everything.
It's a
It's
risk.
part of the game.
And it's just part of that game.
Part of the game.
Always. So if the child has a bad attitude, how do you handle that?
For me, I'm just an old school parent. Yeah, that's showing out that you're doing it at the house.
Because he may be really good on the field.
You're doing it at the house too. You have that when I tell you to take the trash out.
Yes.
You're responding that way.
Right.
Yes.
When I tell you to clean up your room.
Yes.
You're responding
So how
that
do you
way.
handle that? I
Oh,
mean,
I'm
need-
beating you to death.
Yes, because
That's how I
I
handle
don't
it.
like attitude. I ask you
Especially
to
if it's
do
some
something.
dudes.
Yes,
Yes.
go
So
to.
you do
I should
it.
have to tell you 12 times to go take the garbage
Yeah, I
outside.
won't talk about that no more.
Yeah,
So, like some parents may pull their kids out and say, because
done
you're
it.
acting up at home, even
I
though you're
believe it.
good on the field, but it starts at home. So when I tell you what to do at home and you're rebellious or you miss your curfew, and the only way I'm going to penalize you is say, okay, I know you love sports, you can't play. But the coaches call you, hey, we really need him or else we're going to lose this game. It's very important. Do you as parents, then give in and say, you know
that's a
what,
great question.
I got something, I got to prove a lesson to my child, which is lifelong, or this once in a lifetime chance to play in a playoff game, which really is not going to direct their life.
I mean, for me, I'm always playing the game of life. I love sports.
Yeah.
I'm a diehard sports
Yeah.
fanatic. I love it.
Yeah.
But life is just way more
Life.
important.
So
than
you're
that.
going to
what you
stick with
teach
your
them.
guns no matter
Yeah.
who's calling you,
I mean,
begging you, even if they try to offer you some money, let
And
them
I
play.
pray, even in that, Angelina, I pray that the coach has enough resolve to
handle it.
respect
Right.
the fact that I'm
That you made a
preparing him for
decision.
life.
Yes.
Not necessarily
That
preparing him
game.
for the next tournament.
Right.
I'm preparing him for life, or
Right.
her for
Right.
life.
for life.
What about you? What would you do?
I probably can't answer that question because I can see his point, which is 100% correct, and I agree. But probably the other side of me would be like, what is the once in a lifetime opportunity?
athlete in me. It's the athlete in me.
and
I get
It's
it.
true, but
You know
get it.
what? You gonna play this when you get done. You back on groundation. That's probably
I
something
got
I
you.
would say.
I got you.
Because I would want you to experience that. It doesn't make it right, but I probably would. But once this is over, you back grounded because I want you to experience that. Now it may not be a positive thing.
Right.
Just being honest about it.
Right.
But that would probably be my answer.
it would be hard to see. But okay, so let's say, what if the coach is shady? Would you snitch because the coach done called you, hey man, I need him to play no matter what the UIL or rule is. I'm gonna slide you this couple hundred. Would you snitch on him?
I just don't think you start setting those because what you start to do is put your child in that position.
Absolutely.
And now the boosters are paying him to play.
Yes.
Now the loan
Yes.
sharks are paying him to play.
Yes.
Now the gamblers.
Yes.
are paying him.
Yes.
And he may become a
Because
target too, huh?
Yeah, he got that
He
mentality.
don't deliver
Yeah,
properly.
and you're teaching your son that that's right and it's wrong.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
that's deceit. You're playing a game of deceit right there.
So are you going to snitch on the coach, to protect your child and yourself and other players who may be getting it? Or are you going to just let it ride and say, this is how I'm going to handle it?
Yeah, I think for me, that is a singular incident for
Yeah,
me. That's a
I
personal
agree.
incident for me.
Yeah.
It's not a public thing for me.
I agree with that.
because whatever the coach's characteristics are, I know that now.
Right.
And now my son can't play for that coach. No
Because
more.
now
Yeah,
you're going to
yeah.
be looking out for other things
Yeah.
too, yeah.
Absolutely.
To see what
Yeah.
because he may
Yeah.
be doing something with your child. You're
That's
not
my
even
whole
aware. But
point.
now I'm like,
Right.
okay, well, hey, son, has he ever given you some money? Has he ever
Right.
slid this in there?
Right.
Exactly right.
Did he ever go to that social studies teacher
Right.
and ask him to
That's
give you an
exactly
A when you
right.
really
Yeah.
failed?
Right.
That's right.
What do I not know?
Right.
Because
That's
now if you don't, like you're saying, when you get the loan sharks in there, some come back.
Absolutely.
My child is at risk and I don't even know.
Yeah, we're not playing those games at all.
That is
We're not
definitely-
doing
I think sometimes you just start to establish an atmosphere. You create an atmosphere for certain things. You create a pattern. And when kids see that, some of them fall for I fell for the pattern.
that. Yeah.
I liked it. Again,
Yeah.
I like fast money, fast car.
Yeah.
Yeah. I fell for the pattern.
Right.
So you have an open relationship with your kids to where they can come talk to you about anything.
Anything.
Anything. Wow.
I'm not-
What about you?
I'm just
You know,
like
I
this.
try. I try to. I still say there are probably some things that they keep from you, but I'm like, hey, y'all can talk to me about anything. And I have my tone. You know, I know my tones, and I kind of can probe them a little bit and just start talking in general so they can feel comfortable and
Right.
talk. Because I never want them to shut me out with everything, because
Right.
it may be a circumstance where they need my advice
That's right.
Definitely.
on a really
That's right.
tricky subject.
That's right.
That may be hard for me to handle, but I want to talk to you about it. We're gonna get through this. So yeah, I think
I like
it's good
it.
to
And
keep
do
that
you?
open.
Because my thing is, I tell my kids talk to me because I'd rather you talk to me and I remove myself from being the way I want to respond, the one to go off.
Yeah.
And just stay calm because I want you to know that you can talk to me. Who's going to give you the
Absolutely.
best advice? Is going to be safe.
Absolutely.
But also when we think about it, because sometimes parents can't. When we took a poll, they can't handle the truth.
Right.
So if the parents can't handle the truth, how do we ask our kids to tell us the truth when we respond differently?
Kids can't handle the truth because adults can't handle the truth because we were once kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we try to prevent some of the mistakes that we made, but they're gonna do. I mean, the stuff they think they get away. Look, we've been there.
Done all that.
I've done all of it.
Done all. You can't run no
Trust me,
game
all of
over
it.
here.
It's just a different corner, but I turned the corners.
Literally all of it.
You can't teach me
It's all of it.
nothing. We've done all of
Yes.
that. So I think that naturally we try to protect them from making some of the mistakes that we made.
Right.
That for me, that's what that
Yes, that
is.
is.
So that's probably where the fussing and I want you to be better than me,
Right.
than I was at your age. So that's kind of where that conversation
What
is.
about
for
you,
me.
DJ?
I mean, I think that's the same thing for me. It's one of the conversations that I have with my children. It's important that you are in a position where you're better than me. How do I go about doing that?
Yes.
I try to put you in this position. I try to align, get your life aligned with
Right.
these things.
Right.
I mean, it's just that's important to me.
Right.
I want my children to be better than me.
Oh my goodness.
I just do. I don't.
And they don't realize it.
Yeah, I want them to be. I
Yes.
don't want them to make the same mistakes.
same
that I
mistakes.
do. I don't mind you making mistakes.
Right.
I just don't want you to make the same ones I
No.
made. I should have been the blueprint.
Oh my goodness. At all. I just don't want you to do that. I don't. So yeah, that's
So, okay, guys, we have a great conversation. We're going to talk about us back in the day on a future episode. So you guys got to stay tuned because we're going to
know
tell
about that
we're going to tell some grit,
Yeah.
some
That's
dirt.
gonna be good.
I'm gonna tap out.
You going to tap out?
That's
tapping
gonna
out
be
on
real
that.
We,
good.
I can't wait to bring
I
out
don't
the
know
dirt,
about that one, lady.
We're going to make sure, but again, guys, thank you so much for following us here. Let's talk with Angelina Colt and our special guest and co-host, DJ.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Thank
DJ, and guys, you can find us at letstalkan.com on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for sharing with us today.
Stay tuned.